Hi and welcome, it's Lonnie. This is Grace Blossoms for you, and today short and sweet video on how I'm going to prepare a journal for myself for the hashtag Faith Journal July. And yeah, so I've picked out some very simple pages that I like. Not necessarily from a kit, just a collection of pages. For instance, the cover is from Making and Creating. That's a digital store, and it works by subscription. So this was just one page that I liked, and I like it because we are doing the study on joy, and joy and hope to me are very closely related, and the anchor reminds me of the verse, Jesus is the anchor of my soul. So that's why I picked the cover. Then I just found some pretty pages, and some of these are freebies from Victoria Designs, and they print it out beautifully. In the past I've had issues with my printer that they didn't really want to print her designs, but these came out flawlessly today. So I'm not sure what's changed, but okay. So then I also printed out some pages from my prayer journal. That's available on Ko-fi, and just some lined paper, and another page from Victoria Designs, and a scripture. The verses we're studying are from the New Testament, but this is my favorite from Nehemiah. And some more from Victoria. I had a misprint from something else in my printer, so I used that. Why not? And that's about it. I didn't even count to see how many pages are in here. Maybe I should do that. It doesn't really matter though, because the journal that I'm making, I want to make it so that I can add pages, because I never know how invested I'm going to become in something until I'm actually doing it. And so it's really hard for me to prepare that way. And so let's see just how many there are for starters. Okay, so there's 5 plus the cover, that's 6. And so I have, I think, a lot of room left to add. And also I can take out some if it turns out that that needs to happen. So my idea is very simple, and I feel kind of silly making a video of it, but it's so simple that I almost didn't think of it. It's that simple. And so what I'm going to do is take a hole punch. Now I could do this in a 3-hole punch situation if I wanted to, but for what I'm going to do, I just want to make like a half circle, because I don't want it too far at the end. And if I go in over here, then I can only get in so deep, not even an inch. So what I want to do is I'm gonna just make a half circle, but then I'm gonna do it at about almost 3 inches. Let's see, where's my, I'll do it at roughly 3 inches, but I'm just gonna do half a circle. Not the full. And just try for half or 3/4, like so. And then I'm going to do another one over here, roughly the same distance. And yeah, my hole punch thought that was a lot of work. So all right, so I had to go in a little more than half because I already had a feeling that I was gonna skip because the pages fold a certain way, and I had a feeling that I wouldn't quite get in. So I'll have to redo these a little bit. Just go a little deeper. All right. So then, like I said, it's so easy that I feel a little silly making this video, but this is actually going to work out perfectly for me, I think, because of how I work. So I thought I had this blue ribbon that would have matched this, and you know, when you craft in different places in your house, you kind of tend to forget where you left something. That's the case with my blue ribbon. So I'm going to use this cotton lace ribbon that I got at the dollar store, and I'm just going to, if I can, get it into the holes. Put one in through there. Put the other end through here. Now the other idea I had, actually my cousin reminded me of this idea, and that is to use elastic. So if I didn't have a ribbon that's suited, I do have some elastic that I have in metallic gold and silver. I just didn't really feel like I wanted anything metallic at this point, so I decided to go just with the ribbon. Simple. And like I said, that way I can add and subtract as I like. And if I decide to add some RT elements, then I can go ahead and take out a page, put some art into it, and like this page, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to treat it with something like maybe napkins, or I don't know. It's still open, so there's that. And then I have some pages that can just be written in, or I can put a pocket there. And so this to me is like an open canvas. Now if I wanted to make this stronger, and I think maybe I do, because you don't know how much wear and tear it's going to have. So what I'm going to do is put those page savers, you know, the ones you put in the binders so the pages don't rip. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to make all the pages just a little bit, make the hole a little bit more pronounced, although it's kind of at this point not sure how to do that. Anyways, I can see here that that page there didn't get the full half circle there, so I'll just do a couple of them again. Like so. And then I have to find my page savers. Alright, so I hardly ever use them, and now that I want to use them, I can't find them. And they're called reinforcements. So I think I'm going to have to make some now, because I can, and I need some, and I can't find the other ones. This video just got a little bit longer, sorry about that, but if you want to know how to make your own reinforcement circles, here's an easy way. I take some label paper. This happens to be a full sheet. So, because I did not coffee dye my pages in my journal, they're pretty much white, which is fine for this, it'll work. So what I'm going to do then is take a smaller punch like this one. I think it's 1 inch. And I'm just going to punch out a bunch of these circles. Now you could do this with a slightly smaller punch. It wouldn't have to be a full inch. It's just what I have handy. So I have 2 holes in every page, and if I do both sides, I'm going to need quite a few, so alright, I'll do that many for now. Okay, I'll put this aside for later. Then I will take this one, punch, and just generally, roughly make a hole in the center as best as I can estimate it. I might do a couple together. It's not going to be overly visible, so I'm not too concerned if it's right in the center. Again, this is for myself, a project, so you can be a perfectionist if you want. I am just going to do a few real quick here. And then I just have to figure out which is the back of the label and which is the front. So yeah, this will help the little journal stay together better, and it will make it a little more sturdy so that I can go in and out of it more often and make changes as I like. I have made some journals that are a little on the fancy side, but when it's for me, I prefer the simplistic approach because I'm not sure why. I just grew up with the simplistic approach to everything, so I guess it's stuck. All right. So then I grab my pages, and I'll just do the inside of the cover as well. Although for the cover itself, and I forgot to mention this earlier, I took some, what is that called again? It's a laminating sheet. I bought a whole bunch for something and they're coming in so handy. I'm so glad I have these. So I just laminated the one side. That way I don't have to heat up the laminator and get it out and set it up and everything. Okay, yeah, lazy on my part. But it gives the outside of the cover a bit of protection from wetness. So that I like that. And then it also gives it some strength. So this is going to be harder to tear. Yet it remains really flexible and it feels more like paper than plastic. So for me, that's a win-win. And so here I go, peeling the sticker, which is now a hole saver, sheet saver, page saver, a reinforcement. There you go. Is it a hole reinforcer? Sure, we can go with that. Okay, so one side is sticky, the other side is not. But I like to just add a little bit of glue around the sticky side. And there we go, something like that. So yes, my project just became a little more labor intensive, but that's okay. if I'm going to go to the work of making a journal or a little workbook, then I may as well make it so that it's not going to tear apart on me right away. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the study and what the Lord will show us, because He always rewards us when we go into the Word. So if this was white on both sides, I would probably do both sides. But it has all these colors and I don't really want the white reinforcements to show, so I'll just do the white parts. I will just put the glue around this circle, that way I know it will get covered. And at this point, you get the idea of what I'm doing, so I'm just going to fast forward the rest of these. So before I forget to mention it, it's Diane at Faith Art Design Studio and Debbie at Pouring My Art Out for the Lord that are hosting this challenge for the month of July. And you are more than welcome to join us, whether you have a journal or not, because to me the journal is kind of the gravy part. It's studying the Word that is the most beneficial. But sometimes, and I will admit that if I have a visual to go along with the scripture, it will help me to remember the concept better. So I cannot argue that a journal will not be helpful, because I do think it would be. But you do it the way you would like to do it. You do you. Some people may learn better without visuals. I don't know, they might find them distracting, because I'm pretty sure we're not all wired the same way. So for those of you who wish to do so, by all means, make it as fancy as you would like. Okay, so that's the last one for now. And because I did both sides, I have to refold. And I might have to trim the sides of my pages, or the edges, just because with the reinforcements in here, these pages are now thicker, and so they are protruding off the side here. So I will see if that bothers me. I think it will, so I'm going to probably trim them with a decorative edge. I'm going to get rid of these so I don't confuse them with these, because I can use these later. So yeah, I think they're just called reinforcements. Alright, so how am I going to do this then? I have these scissors. They came in a set. I bought some pinking shears, but this is a scalloped one. So I might just do the same thing I did before. Just go simple, one page at a time, and I think it's going to have to be one side at a time. And I'm just going to cut it, leaving a slight edge of the white where the border, well, if I could cut straight, that's what I would do. Okay, not straight at all, but it'll be fine. I'll probably be the only one looking at this journal anyways, so. Well, except for you, because I'm showing you how I'm making it. Alright, so this will fit much better. So there will be now some overlap. But that's okay, at least they'll fit. And so I'm just going to go through all of these, and I'll be back after I've cut all the edges. Okay, so I have a little bit still sticking out, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. And it's kind of nice how it's, I don't mind that. I think it's pretty. So, and two, I could tie this together on the inside or on the outside. What I might do, and I could have thought of this sooner, but I just thought for even less wear and tear, if I wanted to just add pages to the middle, I could do that. Tie it on the inside, and then I would not have to remove the thing every time. At least not the whole thing, if you get what I mean. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to ink this. That's how easy this is going to be. I do want that to be straight though, so there we go. Just turned it. There, that didn't take too long. And now I'm ready to learn. And two, if I find it's too bulky, what I might do is exchange it for something thinner, or do it again like I had it in the first place, and I'll reverse it. But I can do that at the end when I decide if I like it sticking out like that or not. So I put a pretty page in to start with a typewriter on the page here, because I can put like an introduction to what we're studying and go from there. So I do have some very blank pages and some not so blank pages, but by the time we're done, it'll be a lot fuller, of course. So anyways, I hope that helps some of you that get bogged down too easily when you're thinking, oh no, I have to make a journal for a study. It does not have to be complicated at all. In fact, you could just take an empty work, or not even empty, just do it in your regular study time and in your regular study book if you have one. Anyways, I think you get the idea. It does not have to be complicated. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the study in July. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.